Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Guys, your boy is JoJoing out here. I called it. Let's get it. I mean, it was kind of obvious after seeing the train incident and then nothing really coming about, seeing a power coming out of it. But to think that this is where it was kind of headed, I'm pretty happy that we got to see it this week, being Trisha's stand. And not only that, I got to finally see why a lot of people were standing up for this character when really I didn't have anything to go off of on her besides, like the tiny bit of stuff we've gotten throughout the couple of episodes. So with that being said, I'm I'm pretty close to being a fan. Holy crap, she has one of the she has a really cool ability, but I think that for some reason it doesn't feel complete. And the only reason why I say that is because of the show and naturally how they pretty much put the idea of how, like they show us someone as strong as the father, and then you expect us to believe that the daughter doesn't necessarily have like something even remotely close to a time. This man is like canceling out time and space, and she can make stuff soft. Like that doesn't seem like it's the full extent of her ability. Or I mean, yeah, she can make stuff soft or elastic and stuff like that, but um, I don't know. It felt like this is just like the beginning of what she can do. And if that is the case of why the father would be, oh crap, he got me. Why the father would be so afraid of his own bloodline is because of like these tiny abilities that they grow from their stands, which remind you, he somehow like instantly had a feeling that her stand had already been awakened. Like he's not guessing. He's like, oh, maybe her stand's like, he knows for a fact that the stand has awoken. And I think that is more telling of like what his bloodline's all about, or maybe just that if he really thinks he can just run up on her and beat someone that stand awoken, and he still thinks he can take on her plus everybody else in the group, like he's like, oh well, now I got to go and handle this myself. Like clearly, uh, maybe the stand for them aren't are like his blood relatives aren't strong until they've gone through some vigorous training or something along those lines. So it just gave me that indication as soon as he was just kind of like, oh well, she has awoken her abilities, and I gotta go handle this myself. Like, wait, what? You're gonna go handle this yourself, bruh? Okay, well, excuse me. Um, I just love the fact that we're getting a little bit of him, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but does this man have the dopest looking eyes we've seen in a lot, like all the JoJo's that you've seen? Whose eyes look so weirdly like dope as this guy? And go ahead, you can spoil me if there's a character like in the future, but that's what I'm saying. Like, is I don't know if there's a character that they've done a design like this on the eyes where there's like this interesting triangle and not to mention shape altogether that kind of formulates his pupil. Um, I don't know. It was something that caught my attention very quickly, just like the different design of it. But overall, Trish really getting to show that not only is she like becoming confident and becoming stronger, she still is like a human at heart. Like a real human would act on her first thought, or like see something going one way and completely do something differently because of fear, because of your body responding one way, but you're getting the information you need, and you completely go against it. So that's just something humans do. That's something we can't control sometimes, and she's one of us. Being told to not run away by something that has clearly had the advantage against the opponent you're going against the whole time, and then you going against its overall logic isn't the smartest thing to do. But at the same time, in that situation, most people are gonna panic and freak out. That's just human nature. But to then see her like have her plans foiled and she's just like overall being scolded by her, like herself is scolding her, guys. Like, I told you to move slowly and you needed to get to the cockpit, and like she's herself is well, spicy lady as she goes by. She is super mad, bro. And I think that's the best part of this new iteration of stands. Like, these stands usually don't talk, but besides the whole thing of and like their mouth is just like going in. But I've never seen uh I've never seen that type of instance. But to think that we're going to um get, I don't know. To think that we're gonna get more of the boss's backstory, and it's gonna be, compared to all the big bosses now, I'm kind of scared to think of what people are going to overall say about it if it's not as good. Um, I think that, I don't know. I think that with what he's kind of picked up on and the reasoning why he's going out is kind of lackluster. Like, oh no, there's a picture of me taking a picture of my wife there, and because of it, I should have thought of this. Like, it's like, what? You took a picture. But it all comes down to him thinking of, did you really expect to meet a Stan user that would have something like Moody Jazz to be able to redo the whole entire like image that it's been seen? Like, there's no way you would actually imagine a Stan coming to life like that. So it is this whole notion that he's just now noticing it now because of he knows abilities of opponents that he has to literally go against and worry about. If they were still working for him, he would have nothing to fear of Moody Jazz. You'd be like, well, that's a weapon of mine, so if he really wants to go against me, we'll see what happens. And then that regard, which is the reason why he probably has the information in the first place, just in case something popped off, he has the information about all these people that are working for him. And now he even has the information of Giovanni or Geo, at least some type of information. So that's not good for him. But overall, we know how this is gonna go, guys. Um, uh, I I really thought that we would be getting a huge epic battle and this and that, but it really turned out to be this really cool, interesting strategy base, and they did a little bit of the Unbreakable Diamond where they have the stand or the person who, kind of controls the stand in an environment where they are kind of stuck forever. And it makes sense because if you're gonna make this is the part that I kind of want to end the video on, is if you're going to make these characters be these like unbelievable and unstoppable forces, why would they then be able to be killed just for the convenience of the plot of the story? And that is something that happens a lot more in like just shows that are only focused on the fighting. They're not trying to tell you like really cool, slick stuff that's happening in the background and stuff. It's more just like, oh, I punched a guy and that guy lost, and then I punched another guy and that guy lost. Those types of shows. And this show takes it to that level of like punching and fighting and stuff. It's epic, but they give you such compelling reasons to get there. Um, and by saying that, we're looking at characters who, uh, you know, don't necessarily have the fighting prowess because they have to use their abilities to such interesting lengths, and if they don't, they wind up losing. If they don't learn how to use their abilities to the max of its potential, then they get bodied. So to think that this spirit could literally track things at, ridiculous speeds that aren't supposed to be caught, at where, where it takes a leap from and stuff like that. You literally are telling me you're supposed to kill that thing? No. They put it somewhere where it's going to be chasing waves for the rest of its life and sometimes even boats. Like they literally just threw in a kraken in the world because they had to run away from an opponent. That's how ridiculous of a battle slash a power they gave to a stand, and how much it's going to take, uh, just to get out of the situation. They literally had to either give their lives or give others, or give a whole entire ocean away. You know what I mean? Like this show is actually genius, and to think that they could do something like this, and I bet you this is the last thing the fandom will be mad about, is how this villain was taken out, or how the overall situation played out, because it was all fantastic in my opinion. I would love to hear your guys' opinion on what this felt like to you. Trish is definitely a character I'm keeping my eye out on. Spicy Lady coming in with the clutch and really just telling her what's what, which was hilarious in my opinion. So I can't wait to see what you guys are feeling on this. This show is about to continue to pop off like always, and I'm just hoping you guys will be here when we talk about it next Friday, or whenever it takes a break, we'll be back the other Friday. All right? All right, with that, my anime people, I hope you have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be when you're watching this, and I will talk to you later. Oh my God, Renji, you're gonna get the world awakens the world. Watch this. What? Hold him, Vegeta. Oh, that's it. What? All right, let's just no. I'll suck his blood. Your blood is mine. Peace.